must go now.
Imagine being torn
Please,
from your
I
home
beg
at
you.
age 7 and thrown into a world where cold is no excuse. Hunger is a tool and failure truly hurts. This isn't a
Left,
class.
right.
It's a controlled descent into the system that
Left,
forged the most
right.
feared warriors of the ancient world. In just a few minutes, you'll discover why Sparta didn't train bodies, but hardened souls. Stay until the end, because you'll see the trial almost no one talks about. The silent ritual that turned children into shadows. Welcome to Lost History, where you learn without the boredom with scenes you'll never forget. Forget the bright red capes and heroic speeches. The Agoge was discipline, planned scarcity, and a state that forged its people slowly,
You will
by
learn
fire.
discipline.
If you stick to the myth, you see it as a spectacle. If you look inside, you understand a system where every scrape, every scar, and every night without a blanket had a purpose. Picture this. Dawn in Lacedaemon. Mount Tagetus cuts a black edge against the sky. A group of barefoot boys runs over frozen gravel. There are no tears. There's no permission to show them. An instructor watches, holding an olive wood rod. His job isn't to motivate, it's to polish. In a moment, you'll
You will
find
not
out why it all
falter.
begins at 7.
You will not break.
Why silence is a
Your
virtue
spirit
and
is-
why stealing food wasn't a sin. Unless you got caught. Hollywood loves Sparta. The abs, the spears, the stone-cold one-liners. Here's the part almost no one tells you. Heroism was a byproduct, not the goal. The goal was obedience, cohesion, and resistance to pain. They didn't train the individual to shine. They trained the group not to break. The family hands the boy
My
over to
son.
the state. The
He's yours
Paidonomos,
now.
the supervisor, and his assistants take control. Home is over. Nicknames are over. Now he is a gear in a machine. Communal barracks. One short cloak. A handful of straw for a bed. A bowl of food. That isn't enough, and that is deliberate. Did you know? Hair was kept short in childhood. A shaved head itches in the winter. No one cares. The skin learns before the mind. No, it wasn't every boy, nor all year round. And no, they didn't come out with fangs. But it existed. The Cryptia, a trial for the most capable on the verge of adulthood, where they learn to move unseen, to survive on scraps, and to sow fear among the subjugated. And here's the incredible part. Their lesson wasn't to kill. It was to not be seen, to be wind. What would you do alone, barefoot, with one cloak and an entire night to cross the hills without anyone noticing your presence? In the Agoge, a mistake wasn't corrected with a talk. It was corrected with pain, humiliation, or grueling repetition. You're late,
Focus, boy.
you run double. You lost the rhythm.
Every step
You
builds
repeat the
strength.
set until your body understands. You cry. You get extra duties. Emotion is pruned like a dead branch. Scene. A circle of youths forms a wheel. Inside, one delivers open-handed blows to another's torso. There is no anger. There is method. Control of your own pain. Reading the pain in others. Violence isn't a spectacle. It's an alphabet. They eat little, sometimes very little. They're given the bare minimum, so they'll seek out the rest. Stealing food isn't a crime. Getting caught is. Why? Because the state doesn't want thieves. It wants stalkers who can steal chickens without the coop ever knowing. Self-control, planning, cunning. At night, the short cloak. No nightshirt, no extra blanket. Sometimes they were given stinging nettles to rub on their skin, to simulate heat through irritation. The message is simple. Comfort dulls you. Hardship sharpens you. Barefoot, almost all year. Not to save money, but for efficiency. A foot that knows the terrain doesn't stumble. A hand that doesn't feel the rope gets burned. The body becomes a tool. Callus by callus. Blood today, leather tomorrow. The hoplite is not a lone wolf. He is a wall of bronze and wood. The spear stabs, yes, but the key piece is the shield. Heavy, enormous, it shares its protection with the man next to you. You are trained to never ever drop it. A broken spear is bad luck. A dropped shield is a disgrace. Tight formations, short steps, shoulder to shoulder. Coordinated push, a single cry. If you fall, they fall with you. Ever heard of the altar of the scourging? At the sanctuary of Artemis Orthia, public whipping was a ritual contest. Endurance wasn't rewarded with trophies. It was displayed as a civic virtue. The entire city understood what its defense was made of. Here's the part almost no one tells you. Pain in Sparta wasn't a sadistic whim. It was a language. To learn it was to learn not to yield when the enemy pushes back. Which do you think is harder, enduring the blow or enduring the stares of everyone if you fail? Speak little. Say only what is essential. The short phrase wasn't a pose, it was training. The mind learns to trim the fat from thought. Fewer words, fewer escape routes. In the face of fear, one answer, yes or no. Do you advance or not? Ambiguity is thrown to the fire. A mental exercise. An instructor throws out a taunt. They want you to react. If you do, you lose. If you answer with a short, sharp wit and no expression, you win. The mouth holds the rest of the body in check. In the Agoge, fear isn't denied. It's domesticated. It's rehearsed. Surprise night drills. Group punishments for one man's failure. Collective rewards if everyone holds the line. Panic is contagious, but so is calm. The school decides which virus to infect you with. Did you know? The worst punishment wasn't always a beating. It was isolation, eating alone, sitting in silence, being invisible to your peers. The human species hates that void. In Sparta, they used it as a tool. Extreme hardship could have broken anyone. It works because it's shared. Sleeping shoulder to shoulder, eating from the same bowl, protecting your comrade as you protect yourself. That loyalty isn't a battle speech, it's a shared biography. A young man steps forward when his companion hesitates.
We can do it.
He doesn't take the burden from him. He helps him carry it. In battle, that gesture saves shields. In daily life, it saves souls. Sparta worked to extinguish the glare of the self. The lone hero doesn't fit. For them, glory is a chorus. The step that falls out of rhythm puts everyone at risk. The Agoge trains you to desire the group's victory more than a personal medal. This might change how you see discipline. It isn't obeying out of fear. It's agreeing on a rhythm and never betraying it. Yes, it existed. Pork, long boiled in blood, vinegar, and salt. This isn't for Instagram, it's for survival. Protein, iron, calories. They didn't eat for pleasure, they ate to continue. Hard bread, cheese, figs when available, watered down wine. Enough to keep you from falling, not enough to be comfortable. Would you trade flavor for a body that obeys in the pouring rain? They were kept hungry so they would learn to hunt, to steal without a trace, to ration. If you stole bread, good. If you got caught, punishment. The real world rewards results and punishes clumsiness. Military rations today seek the same thing: caloric density, portability, stability. Survival diets play with protein, fats, and fiber so that morale doesn't collapse. But there's something the 21st century can barely tolerate: hunger as a teaching tool. Cold baths, not for a trend, but for logistics. The cold teaches the body to economize. Muscle fibers learn that heat is earned through movement. Upon completing their stages, the young men enter the common mess hall of the citizens. A silent judgment. If they accept you, you belong. If they reject you, you're stranded between islands. Food is still a school, but now the lesson is belonging. Here's the part almost no one tells you. The shared table is more than nutrition, it's politics. It's a network. It's a daily test of warrior equality. Let me propose an experiment. Imagine today, they take your coat, just a thin cloak. You go for a 10-kilometer run at dawn, barefoot on wet earth. Breakfast, stale bread in a small bowl. Your next meal depends on you getting something yourself. If you get caught, you eat less. Afternoon, tight formation. Heavy shield on your left arm, spear forward, half an hour of a continuous push. Same pace, same breath. Night, a straw floor, your cloak, and silence. If someone talks, everyone does push-ups. If someone is late for formation, everyone runs another block. Honest question, where do you fail first? In your body or in your head? The Agoge wasn't a permanent physical Olympics. It was a laboratory of the will. Anyone who doesn't get that obsesses over the muscles and misses the bone. The muscle lifts the shield. The mind decides not to let it go. Yes, it was harsh. Yes, lives were broken. Yes, there were shadows and unacceptable areas. But there was also a final product, consistent with its time. A citizen hoplite who functioned like a gear in a phalanx of steel and wood. This might change how you see training. There are routines that make you an athlete, and there are systems that make you a political instrument. Let's recap in 3 strikes.
Discipline is not just a word.
The Agoge didn't look for individual champions. It sought a war machine that would not fall apart. The method was scarcity, controlled pain, silence, and brotherhood. Stealing, yes. Being clumsy, no. Speaking, little.
You must train
Acting,
harder,
precisely.
boy.
The mind commands. A body without a head is muscle without a compass. A head without a group is a spark in a void. The reward for staying until the end. Now you can read the image of Sparta for what it was, a social design. You're not dazzled by the bronze. You see the workshop. Imagine the dawn again, the cold gravel, the unified step, the silent instructor. There's no epic poetry in the moment, there is repetition. And repetition with purpose builds legends. If you enjoy these deep dives where you learn without the boredom, give this video a like and subscribe to Lost History. Every day, a historical journey with scenes you won't forget.